Hi, fifth grade. I'm so excited for us to start reading our new read aloud, When You Trap a Tiger. I am going to orient myself to the text by reading the back of the book. When you trap a tiger, her story begins. Listen, this isn't like any tiger I've seen in a zoo. It's huge, as big as our car. The orange in its coat seems to glow, and the black is as dark as the moonless night. That this tiger belongs in one of Halmoni's stories. I lean forward until the seatbelt slices into my skin. The big cat lifts its enormous head and it looks at me. And then the tiger raises an eyebrow like it's daring me to do something. Ooh, sounds good. We actually had this book recommended to us by Miss Shea, so I'm super excited to read it together with you. It also won the 2021 Newbery Award. Woohoo! So you know it's going to be good. Here we go. When You Trap a Tiger. Oops, should have read the author by Tay Keller. And this book is a genre called magical realism. And it also weaves some Korean folklore into the story. It says some stories refuse to stay bottled up. Also by Tay Keller, The Science of Breakable Things. When You Trap a Tiger. For Halmoni, I wish you a pendant. Wonder what that means. Chapter 1. I can turn invisible. It's a superpower, or at least a secret power. But it's not like in the movies, and I'm not a superhero, so don't start thinking that. Heroes are the stars who save the day. I just disappear. See, I didn't know at first that I had this magic. I just knew that teachers forgot my name and kids didn't ask me to play. And one time, at the end of fourth grade, a boy in my class frowned at me and said, "Where did you come from? I don't think I've ever seen you before." I used to hate being invisible, but now I understand. It's because I'm magic. My older sister, Sam, oops, well, I gotta get this out of here. My older sister, Sam, says it's not a real super secret power, it's just called being shy. But Sam can be rude. And the truth is, my power can come in handy, like when Mom and Sam fight, like right now. I wrap myself in invisibility and rest my forehead against the back seat window, watching raindrops slide down the side of our old station wagon. You should stop the car, Sam says to Mom. Except Sam actually says this to her phone because she doesn't look up. She's sitting in the passenger seat with her feet slammed against the glove compartment, knees smashed into her chest, her whole body curled around her glowing screen. Mom sighs. Oh, please, we don't need to stop. It's just a little rain. But she ticks the windshield wipers up a notch and taps the brakes until we're going slug slow. The rain started as soon as we entered Washington State, and it only gets worse as our car inches past the hand-painted "Welcome to Sunbeam" sign. Welcome to Halmoni's Town, a town of nonstop rain, its name like an inside joke. Sam smacks her black painted lips. K. That's all. Just one letter. She taps her screen, sending bubbles of words and emojis to all her friends back home. I wonder what she's saying in those messages. Sometimes when I let myself, I imagine she's writing to me. Sam, can you at least try to have a good attitude about this? Mom shoves her glasses up on her nose with too much force, like her glasses just insulted her and it's personal. How can you even ask me that? Sam looks up from her phone, finally, so she can glare at Mom. This is how it always starts. Their fights are loud and explosive. They burn each other up. It's safer to keep quiet. I press my fingertip against the rain splattered window and draw a line between the drops, like I'm connecting the dots. My eyelids go heavy. I'm so used to the fighting that it's practically a lullaby. But you realize that you're basically the worst, right? Like, this is actually not okay. Sam. Mom is all edges, shoulders stiff, every muscle tensed. I hold my breath and think, invisible, invisible, invisible. No, seriously, Sam continues. Just because you randomly decided that you wanted to see Helmoni more, that doesn't mean we want to uproot our entire lives. I had plans this summer. Not that you care. You didn't even give us a fair warning. Sam's not wrong. Mom told us only 2 weeks ago that we were leaving California for good. And I'll miss it too. I'm going to miss my school and the sunshine and the sandy beach. So different from the rocky coast at Sunbeam. I'm just trying not to think about that. I thought you should spend more time with your grandmother. I thought you enjoyed that. Mom's tone is clipped. The rain has gotten heavier and it sucks up her focus. Her fingers white knuckle the steering wheel. None of us like the idea of driving this weather. Not after Dad died. I concentrate on the steering wheel and squint a little, sending safety vibes with my mind, like Helmoni taught me. Way to deflect, Sam says, tugging at the single streak of white in her black hair. She's still angry, but deflated a little. I do enjoy spending time with Helmoni. Just not here. I don't want to be here. Helmoni's always visited us in California. We haven't been in Sunbeam since I was 7. I gaze out of the windshield. The landscape that slips by is peaceful. Gray stone houses, green grass, gray restaurants, green forest. The colors of Sunbeam blur together, gray, green, and then orange, black. I sit up, trying to make sense of the new colors. There's a creature laying in the road ahead. It's a giant cat with its head resting on its paws. No, not just a giant cat, a tiger! The tiger lifts its head as we approach. It must have escaped from a circus or a zoo or something, and it must be hurt. Why else would it be lying out here in the rain? An instinctive kind of fear twists in my stomach, making me car sick. But it doesn't matter. If an animal's hurt, we have to do something. Mom, I interrupt their fight, scooting forward. I think, there's... Now, a little closer. The tiger doesn't look hurt. It yawns, revealing sharp, 2 white teeth. And then it stands, one claw, one paw, one leg at a time. Girls, Mom says, voice tense, tired. Her annoyance with Sam rarely bleeds onto me, but after driving for 8 hours, Mom can't contain it. Both of you, please, I need to focus on driving for a moment. I bite the inside of my cheek. This doesn't make sense. Mom must notice the giant cat, but maybe she's too distracted by Sam. Mom, I murmur, waiting for her to hit the brakes. She doesn't. Sometimes the problem with my invisibility is that it takes a little while to wear off. It takes a little while for people to see me and hear me and listen. Ooh. Listen, this isn't like any tiger I've seen at the zoo. It's huge, as big as our car. The orange in its coat glows, and the black is as dark as the moonless night. This tiger belongs in one of Helmoni's stories. I lean forward until the seatbelt slices into my skin. Somehow, Sam and Mom continue to bicker. but their words become a low hum because I'm only focused on the tiger lifts its enormous head and it looks at me. It sees me. The big cat raises an eyebrow, like it's daring me to do something. My voice catches in my throat, and I stumble over my words. They come out choked. Stop! Mom's busy talking to Sam, so I shout louder. Stop! Finally, Mom acknowledges me. Eyebrows pinched, she glances at me in the rearview mirror. Lily, what's wrong? She doesn't stop the car. We keep going. Closer, closer. And I can't breathe because we're too close. I hear a thud and I squeeze my eyes shut. The inside of my head pounds. My ears ring. We must have hit it. But we keep going. When I open my eyes, I see Sam, arms folded across her chest, phone resting by her feet. It died, she announces. My pulse is a wild beast as I scan the road, searching for horrors I don't want to see. Nothing's there. Mom's jaw tightens. Sam, please don't throw your expensive phone around. I stare at them, confused. If the thud was just her phone hitting the floor, I twist to look for the tiger, but all I see is rain and road. The tiger disappeared. Lily? Mom says, slowing the car even more. Are you feeling sick? Do you need me to pull over? I flick my eyes across the road one more time, but nothing. No, never mind, I say. She smiles, relieved. I am never difficult. I make things easy. Hang in there, we'll be at Halmoni's soon. I nod, trying to act normal, casual, even though my heart is jump dancing. I can't tell Mom about this. She'd ask if I'm dehydrated, if I have a fever. And maybe I do. I press my palm to my forehead, but I can't tell. I guess it's possible that I'm getting sick. Or maybe I just fell asleep for a moment. Really, there's no way I saw a giant tiger appear and disappear in the middle of the road. I shake my head. Regardless of whether the tiger was real or I dreamed it, I'm losing my mind. I need to tell Halmoni. She will listen. She will help. She will know what to do. Chapter 2. Halmoni's stories start all the same way, with the Korean version of Once Upon a Time. Long, long ago, when tiger walked like man. Back in California, in the weeks leading up to Halmoni's visits, Sam and I would whisper those words to one another. Every time I heard them, they'd give me shivers. We'd count the days until our Halmoni's arrival, until that first night. Then we'd run into the guest room and curl in a bed with her, one of us on each side like bookends. Halmoni, I'd whisper, will you tell us a story? She would smile, pulling us into her arms and her imagination. Which story? Our answer was always the same, our favorite story. The one about Anya, Sam would say, big sister. And Eggy, I would add, baby sister. The tiger story. The story always felt special, like there was a secret shimmering beneath the words. Catch it for me, she'd tell us, and Sam and I would reach our hands into the air, clenching our fists like we were grabbing the stars. That's a Halmoni thing, pretending there are stories hidden in the stars. She would wait a few moments, letting the seconds swell, and we'd listen to our hearts beating, crying out for the story. Then she'd take a breath and tell us about the tiger. The problem is the tiger in her stories is a scary, tricky predator, but the tiger in the road didn't seem that way. I don't think it wanted to eat me, though I do think it wanted something. I don't get a chance to figure out what, because there are no more tiger sightings as we crawl through Sunbeam. Finally, we reach Halmoni's house. It's a small cottage at the edge of town, at the top of a hill, across the street from the library and surrounded by woods. Mom turns onto the long driveway, and we crunch up the gravel until we reach the top. After she parks, she rests her head against the steering wheel and sighs, looking like she might fall asleep. Then she takes a breath and sits up. All right, she says, hooking her arm around her headrest, twisting so she can see both of us at once. She plasters a grin on her face, trying to be cheerful, to erase all the bickering and stress of the car ride. Oop, there we go. Bad news. I left the umbrellas back in California. She grins like, haha, whoops, funny. So we've just got to make a break for it. I stare at Halmoni's home. This is the kind of place that just looks magic. Perched up high, with almost black ivy creeping along the faded brick walls. Windows that wink in the lights, and of course, a million stairs to get to the front door, give or take a few. It's nothing like our vanilla white apartment in California, in a brand new building with an elevator. You want us to run up all those stairs in the rain? Sam asks, with so much horror you'd think Mom asked her to bathe in a pit of snail slime. Mom forces another smile. What's a little rain, right, Lily? My answer is simple. Yes, right. I want to go inside and ask Halmoni about the tiger, but there's no such thing as a simple question in our family. This is a trap. She's asking me to pick sides. I shrug. Mom doesn't let me off the hook so easily. Right, Lily? Her smile falters like she might fall to pieces. There are bags under her eyes and a deep crease between her brows. This is not the way Mom usually looks. She's usually so polished, everything in the right place, everything in order. Right, I say. Sam flinches as if I kicked her. Well, that settles it, Mom says with relief, placing her hand on the door handle. Ready, set. Then she flings her door open and flies out, throwing it shut as she starts running. She's drenched immediately, and she's not moving fast, but she's working hard. Fists pumping, shoulders hunched, head tilted forward as if she's a bull charging her mother's home. She looks ridiculous, Sam says. And Sam's not just being mean. It's true. Mom pinwheels her arms for no apparent reason, and I laugh. Then Sam laughs, and we look at each other. For a moment, we're sisters, making fun of our embarrassing mom. I want to take this moment and stretch it to infinity. But Sam turns away, picking up her phone and its charger and tucking them into her bra, protecting them. Might as well go, she says. I want to say, stay, but I nod instead, and then we burst out of the car. I have never, ever felt rain like this. It is insistent and cold, too cold for July, and we don't even make it out of the driveway before my shoes squish squelch and my jeans get heavy. Sam yelps as she runs away, or she runs, and I yelp too, because it's kind of funny and kind of awful. My eyes sting with water and I can hardly see, but the ice cold shock of rain lights up my insides. By the time Sam and I get to the top of the stairs, panting, dripping, I've wrung all the air out of my lungs, and my heart is bursting. Mom waits for us at the front stoop, which is nice, I guess, but kind of strange because she should have opened the door and go inside. She shakes her head and frowns. Halmoni isn't answering, she says. She's not here. Chapter 3. What do you mean she's not here? I whisper. For a moment, I panic. The tiger ate her. But I tell myself to remain calm. Mom sighs. I don't know. I can't tell if she's worried or annoyed. The rain runs over her eyes and lips, making her emotions blurry. I wish I knew how she felt so I could know how I should feel. Sam fiddles with the brass doorknob, willing it to turn, but that stubborn door stays shut. So Sam stares at Mom, then at me. With her hair flat and her thick eyeliner running in black stripes down her cheeks, she looks like a wet tiger. We just have to wait here in the rain for an undetermined amount of. Oh, we just have to wait here in the rain for an undetermined amount of time? Mom wipes her glasses on her soaked t-shirt, which doesn't help much. No, I don't think so. Hang on. She holds up one finger, then runs around to the side of the house. Where's she going? I ask. I cup my hands over my head, trying to form a protective roof, but it's useless. Where's Halmoni? Sam doesn't answer. We watch as Mom stops beneath the living room window. She taps the side of the pane, runs her hands over the sill, then thumps a fist right below the glass. Well, this is normal, Sam says, voice laced with sarcasm. Then Mom shoves the window open. She glances over at us before hoisting herself up and tumbling headfirst into the house. Whoa, I whisper. I've never seen Mom do anything like that. Sam shakes her head. Whoa is right. I bet she did that all the time as a teenager. Sam looks at me like she can't decide whether to frown or laugh, and I know exactly how she feels, because picturing Mom as a teenager is both ridiculous and kind of scary. It's weird to think about Mom before we existed. But Sam smiles, and my heart relaxes. She probably snuck out to party with her friends. I nod. When Sam is happy, her moon face glows, and she looks like my sister again. I inch closer to her, just barely, so she doesn't notice. She wrinkles her nose. Do you think she snuck out to see boys? I don't think she dated anybody before Dad. I can't picture Mom with anyone but Dad. Or, to tell you the truth, I can't picture her with anyone because I don't remember the time of Mom and Dad. I can tell right away that was the wrong thing to say. Well, that was the wrong thing to say, though, because Sam's glow shuts off fast. She clenches her jaw and turns away. That's just naive, she mutters. Thinking about Dad is different for Sam than it is for me. She's old enough to remember him. When he died in a car accident, she was 7. I was only 4. Sam, I start, but I don't know how to finish the sentence. I used to be able to talk to her. I used to tell her everything. If this had happened a few years ago, I would have said, I just saw a tiger in the middle of the road. I would have shouted it right into her ear because I couldn't hold it in. I just saw, I'd try again, but the locks on the other side of the door interrupt me. They sing as Mom slides them, and opens the door. Hurry inside, she says, as if we could get more soaked than we already are. Sam and I enter, leaving watery footprints in the entryway, lake-sized puddles on the wood floor. Halmoni's house looks like a memory. The living room and kitchen cuddle together around a purple dining table and a fireplace that doesn't work. An old grandfather clock tuts in the far corner of the living room. On the mantle, two stone lions On the mantle, two stone lions hug a photograph of Mom, welcoming wealth into her life. On the other side, a frog guards a photo of Sam and me, protecting our happiness. And everywhere, in baskets hung from the ceiling, sitting on countertops stuffed into bowls, are bundles of herbs and smudge sticks, to cast away bad energy. When I breathe the house in, the scent of buckwheat noodles, sage, and laundry detergent smells like home. Sam's less happy. She folds her arms over her chest and frowns. Um, she says, "What's that?" I follow her gaze. At the other end of the living room, there's Halmoni's bedroom, the bathroom, and two staircases, one that goes up to the attic bedroom and one that goes down to the basement. But now, in front of the basement door, there's a tower of engraved Korean chests and cardboard boxes stacked like a barricade. Mom shakes her head. That's bizarre, isn't it? Why would she do that? She chews on her thumbnail and glances around the room. For a second, I catch the worry in her eyes. My earlier excitement drips away. It is odd. They're out of place, and Halmoni's not here. Something cold and dark settles in my stomach. Where's Halmoni? I ask. Mom looks at me and softens. Oh, don't worry. I'm sure she's just out shopping or visiting her friends. You know how she is. She gives me a smile that's sad and hopeful at once. Are you happy to be here, Lily? There's something going on, something she isn't saying. I want to ask her about it, but I don't want to take away her smile. So I just nod. She's about to say something else, but a shiver grabs me by the shoulders. It shakes me. Mom blinks at us like she forgot how wet we were. Right, hang on. Let me find something for us to change into. Our suitcases are back in the car. None of us want to brave the rain, so Mom wanders down the hall and into Halmoni's room. When she emerges, her hands are full of towels and Halmoni's silk nightgowns, and Sam and I pluck two off the top. The pale orange nightgown shimmers and shifts like sunset in my hands. Even Halmoni's pajamas are beautiful. I'm going to turn up the heat, Mom says. Wait here. But of course, Sam doesn't wait. As soon as Mom walks back into the Halmoni's room, Sam dodges boxes and furniture and heads right upstairs to our bedroom, leaving puddle lakes behind her. I start after her, but hesitate. I don't want to be the little Iggy or Eggy who follows her Unya everywhere. But in the end, of course, I follow her anyways. Upstairs, the attic room is creaky, cozy, with peaked ceilings, a full length wood framed mirror, and two twin beds dressed in faded quilts. When Sam and I lived here, we pushed the beds together and curled into one another, trading stories in the dark. Now the beds are on opposite sides of the room, separated by the wide window. Sam throws off her wet clothes, smears her dark makeup onto the clean towel, and tugs the black sequin nightgown on. She flops onto her bed. The mattress greets her with a groan, and she reaches behind the bed frame to plug her phone in before turning to me. What are you doing? You're supposed to wait downstairs. Sam always acts like Mom's orders only apply to me, which is annoying, but I'm used to it. I sigh and dry off before slipping into my own nightgown. The soft warmth sends a shiver through me, releasing the cold in my bones. I breathe in, hoping for Halmoni's milk scent, but all I get is a hint of soap. Sam frowns, still waiting for me to leave, but I sit on my bed instead. Does this place feel weird to you? I pick at the bedspread as I speak, careful not to look at her. With Halmoni missing and all that stuff blocking the basement and the vibe, like something's wrong. First of all, Halmoni's not missing, she's just out. Don't be so dramatic. Second of all, yeah, the vibe is weird, but Halmoni's house always feels like this. Next to her, Sam's phone goes bright and begins loading, like it's stretching as it wakes up from a nap. She grabs it and watches it blink on, only half paying attention to me. Do you remember last time we moved here? Kind of. We lived here for 3 years after Dad died. I was born in California, but my first memories are shaped like this house. Sam scrolls through her phone, and I don't expect her to respond, but she drops it and looks up. At first, it was nice to be here because Halmoni took care of us when we were sad, and she helped Mom out. But Halmoni was always doing weird things without explaining any of it. She's full of secrets. This house is full of secrets. I chew my lip. Like what? Sam rolls her eyes. I don't know. That's not the point. The point is we're here instead of California, and I hate it. I hate being here. Sam's words are so harsh that I flinch. Don't say that. The way I remember it, Sam and I loved living here. We were sad because of Dad, of course, but it wasn't all bad. Sam and I told stories in the attic room. We ate rice cakes in the kitchen. We created imaginary worlds in the basement. We were together. I want to ask her, do you remember? But Sam keeps going. It's just not fair, Lily. Mom wanted to move closer to Halmoni, which is nice and all, but we didn't even get a say. We didn't even get to say goodbye. Aren't you a little bit angry? If I'm being honest, I am. Maybe a little bit angry. But I'm happy to be here, too. I clear my throat. Take a slow breath. Swallow. I think maybe you should be a little nicer to Mom. My palms go sweaty. This is dangerous territory. I don't usually confront Sam. We're sisters, and sisters are always supposed to be on the same side. Sam rolls her eyes. Seriously, Lily? I can't believe you're defending her. I just, I can't get the look on Mom's face out of my head. Downstairs, looking for Halmoni, she seems so fragile. Like, not how moms are supposed to look. I don't know how Sam didn't see that. You just. Sam stares at me, and when I don't answer, she sighs. Spit it out, Lily. You don't have to be so creepy and quiet all the time. You're being a quag. QAG, quag, is Sam for quiet Asian girl, as in a stereotype. As in, Sam tries so hard not to be a stereotype that she wears black lipstick and bleached a lock of her hair and says every little thought that comes to mind. I tell her, I'm only trying to help. I ask, don't you see how hard Mom's trying? I say, I don't know why you're trying. Oh, I don't know why you're so mad at me. But actually, I don't say any of that. The words get stuck in my throat. Sam's just so angry all the time, and everything I say sets her off. She rolls her eyes again. Whatever, you always make me the bad guy, just because I speak my mind. You don't have to be so afraid to rock the boat, you know. What Sam doesn't realize is that she's already rocking our boat. If I rock it too, the boat will flip. We'll drown. I listen to the rain beat against the roof, and I run my hand over the quilt. I say, you should be happy. You like Halmoni. At least I think that's true. Sam doesn't seem to like anything anymore, except her phone, maybe. She shrugs. I'm just saying, the point is having to live here without any friends, with just your mom and grandmother? That's a lot. And your sister, I say, so quiet I can barely hear myself. So quiet like a quag. I'm here too. Sam has a sharp response ready, I can tell, but my words stop her. Her shoulders relax. Yeah, she says. It's just one very small world, but she says it soft, and it opens my heart, and warmth spills out, spreading through my body, into my toes and fingertips. Yeah, I reply. I almost feel like I could tell her about the tiger dream, mirage spirit thing. Then downstairs, the door slams open. Halmoni's home. Dun dun dun. Cliffhanger. Come back on Friday for more.